In the months that followed his coronation, Alistair proved to be a popular king, if largely unwilling to involve himself in matters of governing. He traveled often, making appearances in towns throughout Ferelden to the great delight of the commoners. They referred to him as a king with the common touch, even if few knew it was the simple aversion to life at court. News that the Urn of Sacred Ashes had been found in Ferelden did not spread outside the Chantry until Brother Genitivi made an announcement several months after the defeat of the Darkspawn. The manuscript detailing his research and his experience with Andraste's cult drew huge interest among scholars throughout the Thetis. Some years later, the Chantry announced that the resting place of Andraste's ashes had indeed been found. They were located, however, in ruins that were also the lair of a high dragon, thus proving too dangerous to approach. Many made demands to secure the ashes so that followers could undertake pilgrimages to partake of their healing powers. Following numerous failed attempts to deal with the dragon, the beast finally flew off to find another haven, but leaving the mountaintop sanctum in ruins. An excavation found no traces of the urn. People began to doubt that the ashes had ever been found, while others claimed that a cult of Andraste's followers stole them from the temple. Still others say that the Maker himself removed the urn, deeming mankind unworthy of it. For now, what happened to the urn is simply unknown. Following months of effort, the Tower of the Circle of Magi is finally cleansed of the last spirits to slip through the veil. No further abominations were created. The first enchanter, Irving, was pleased to declare the circle safe. All that could be saved had been. With the slavers shut down in the alienage, the lot of the city-born elves improved for a time. The new king even named the local elder to his personal court, a scandal amongst the humans, but a sign of new hope to the elves. Shiani continued to be an outspoken member of the alienage community, and in time became the new elder. That outspokenness earned her frequent trouble, but served her people well. Arl Eamon remained in Denerim for some time, acting as the Chancellor and chief advisor to King Alistair. Tegan ruled over Redcliffe in his stead, and was surprised to find himself well loved by the villagers, who were still grateful for the nights he spent defending their lives. In time, Eamon abdicated in favor of his brother, an event the locals greeted with approval and enthusiasm. The Dalish elves prospered after the siege at Denerim, having earned much respect for their part in the battle. For once, human lands welcomed the wandering folk. The new Keeper Linea was respected both amongst the Dalish as well as in the Ferelden court. She was a voice of reason, and other Dalish clans would turn to her to help resolve disputes with human folk. In time, many of the Dalish clans moved to new lands provided for them in the south near Ostagar. Wary of their human neighbors, however, tensions soon rose again, and only Keeper Linea's leadership kept peace alive. In Orzammar, King Haramon quickly put down Balin's rebellion, and then passed a series of laws to please the clan lords. Unfortunately, that isolated the dwarves even further from the surface. Caste restrictions and the rights of the nobles both grew, and trade with the human lands was all but cut off. After a law excluding the casteless from common areas of the city was passed, a rebellion saw the slums reduced practically to rubble. Although outrage was widespread, they simply remained united behind King Haramon. The assembly unanimously declared Norian a living paragon. Following months of deliberation, a new statue was erected in the commons and a new house founded in the paragon's name, quickly drawing a great number of followers from every caste. It was not long before Branka mastered Caridin's technique, learning how to use the Anvil of the Void to create new golems, the first in many centuries. The dwarven people greeted this news with cheers, though few knew the cost. Initially, King Haramon was more than willing to provide volunteers for Branka. The golems were sorely needed to crush Balin's rebellion, after all, and they did so with success. But eventually, Haramon declared that no new dwarven souls could be used on the anvil. The unending need for golems in the Deep Road, however, gave rise to secret surface raids to kidnap humans and elves for the mad Paragon. When this came to light, a brief war broke out between Orzammar and Ferelden. The gates to the subterranean city were sealed, and Haramon's kingdom became more isolated than ever. Branka insists, of course, that the raids on the surface continue. As good as her word, Morrigan disappeared once the archdemon was slain. Someone of Morrigan's description was seen traveling alone months later, heading west through the Frostback Mountains, and she may even have been with child. There was no word of her after that. With Plymouth dead, or at least gone, the chances of tracking her down were slim indeed. One cannot help but wonder, however, what became of the child, and what were Morrigan's plans? These questions must remain a mystery, for now. The companions who had traveled with Norian eventually scattered to the four winds, drawn either by personal duty or by the call to further adventure. The hero remained in Dinnerham, a celebrity amongst the commoners and a fixture at court, at least for a time. As the blighted lands began to heal and the Grey Wardens slowly rebuilt the Order in Amaranthine, they discovered that the fight against Darkspawn was not yet complete. Although the Horde was routed and had dissolved upon the Archdemon's death, many of the more powerful Darkspawn survived to organize roving warbands that preyed both upon the land and upon each other. These warbands spread havoc, and some even journeyed west into Orlaeus, and crossed the shining sea by the deep roads. They proved incredibly difficult to wipe out. But these are tales yet to be told. This tale ended when Norian sank his blade in the Archdemon's head and destroyed it forever. It was not the last that Ferelden would hear of him, however. And we are back at the main screen. So, thanks everybody for watching this LP. I'm sorry it was so long and I didn't get it out before March 8th. But thanks for sticking around, and we will see the first of Dragon Age 2 within a few days. Thanks for watching.